To the right of the lipid is a protein, an enormously important class of macromolecules. Proteins are called the workhorses of the cell for good reasons. Every function of life depends on proteins. We will learn about this macromolecule in more depth in another tutorial. But for now, be aware that proteins have a wide range of functions and mechanisms to accomplish their functions. Some proteins are small and help catalyze chemical reactions. Others are antibodies that help organisms fight off infection. These are just two examples of important protein functions. Proteins are made from two types of RNA in our cells. Large complexes called ribosomes are found in all cells. The ribosomes read the code in the messenger RNA, called the mRNA. Each group of 3 nucleotides codes for an amino acid. These individual amino acids are arranged by the transfer RNA, or tRNA. The amino acid monomers attach together and form long chains that become our diverse proteins. You can see the pink amino acids being attached in this process. Proteins vary in structure and function. Here is a list of the 8 basic functional groups of the protein macromolecule class. Enzymes are biological catalysts that help speed up chemical reactions, whereas storage proteins are a source of amino acids. Antibodies are proteins that function to fight against infections, thus serving as a defense mechanism. Hormonal proteins regulate an organism's activities. An example of this is insulin, an important hormone that regulates the sugar in our blood and helps keep us healthy. Other proteins are located on the surface of a cell and help communicate what's going on outside of a cell to the inside of a cell. Take a look at the other types of proteins in the table shown here. Let's practice. Choose the statements that help to describe the types of proteins or their characteristics. Awesome! It is hard to remember all of the jobs that proteins do. They are so important, but you were able to pick out 3 of the examples: enzymes, hormones, and proteins that regulate movement. You also remembered that amino acids are the monomers that proteins are built from. Let's go through the 4 main macromolecules again as a review. 1. Carbohydrates are a main source of energy and building material. 2. Lipids perform many functions, including providing a protective barrier in our cell membranes. 3. Proteins are responsible for much of the cellular activities and processes. And 4. Nucleic acids store our genetic information and code for those important proteins. Let's practice one last time. Match the macromolecule class with its function by dragging the blocks on the right to their corresponding partner. Awesome! You know the main functions of each of the 4 biological macromolecules. We have just gone through a basic overview of 4 very important groups of biological macromolecules. These carbohydrates, lipids, proteins, and nucleic acids are primarily made from the atoms hydrogen, carbon, oxygen, and nitrogen. We learned that all 4 macromolecule categories are created from smaller units called building blocks. These combine together to form long molecular chains